All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. There are a couple of SEC teams still looking to get bowl eligible. We'll talk about the chances that they have. Who do we think actually gets there? A little bit later in the show. First, we'll visit with Brian Haydad in just a moment. First, Greg, tell our listeners about Canty.
Well, Canty can fix it. That's what you need to know. Whatever it is you're working with your foundation issues, and there's a million different indicators here in Alabama of challenges with your foundation. Especially, we have a bunch of factors here that can factor into whether or not you could have challenges with your crawl space basement or with some concrete issues. It's the soil, it's the shifting, it's the uneven ground, moisture, weather, lots, including just the age of your home. So if you're noticing cracks on the walls, floors, or around windows and doors, if you're noticing doors and windows sticking or not closing properly, if you're noticing moisture or musty smells or wood rot coming from the crawl space, and you need to call Canty Foundation Specialists today. They offer free inspections and estimates so homeowners know exactly what's going on under their house, and their work is backed by lifetime transferable warranty. So call them today at 205-509-3991 or go online to Canty, C-A-N-T-E-Y, canfixit.com. That's Canty, canfixit.com.
Brian Haydad joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, covers the Mississippi State Bulldogs. We'll talk their quarterback situation. We saw Blake Shapen go out of that game last week. We've heard some of the commentary from Jeff Lebby this week. What's the latest that you have? What are the chances you think he plays this weekend or at all the rest of the year?
I think that, obviously if he's healthy, he's going to be the guy, and that's something that has been the case all year. Like that, Blake Shapen and Jeff Lebby, that's just how it's going to be. It doesn't really matter what Mario Taylor shows us in the game. It's going to be Shapen if he can go. Was held out of practice on Monday. We'll find out tonight with the injury report. I fully expect Shapen to be on that injury report and to be probably questionable. And the Lebby pattern has been, questionable on Wednesday, and then we'll come back on Thursday and see if it's doubtful or probable. Based on everything I've heard, I'm going to expect him to play this weekend, but it's fluid and it could change. But I think Shapen is probably State's starting quarterback on Saturday.
So when you look at last week's performance, it started well, and we had thought that the defense had maybe turned the corner. Do you feel like last week was kind of reversion to the mean? Was that an anomaly performance, or was that just a team that was fatigued and emotional after the victory the week before?
I think it's probably a combination of things, Greg. First off, when you look at State's defense, they are better than they were a season ago. There's no question about that. But they're still not good. They've given up the fewest points they've given up in an SEC game is 23. They gave up 45 to Texas, 41 to Tennessee, 31 to Texas A&M, and now 41 to Georgia, 35 to Arkansas. So they're still struggling. Georgia's just position for position. There's not a spot on the field where Georgia's not better than Mississippi State right now. And when Mississippi State doesn't play clean football, when they make mistakes, these are the kind of results they're going to get. State's margin for error is just so slim. If you look at the Arkansas game, they played cleaner football than Arkansas did, so they got the win that day. And the other games where they've lost, they did not play the cleaner football. They had penalties, they had turnovers, they had drop passes, mistakes. And that's what happened on Saturday against Georgia. And when you combine that with the talent deficit between Georgia and Mississippi State, that's the kind of result you're going to end up with.
Brian Haydad joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking Mississippi State. Where's the fan base? Where's the support system on this team right now? What they've accomplished, what's still ahead, how they've looked this year 2 under Lebby. Just where's sort of the 1,000-foot view for people who pay attention to and actually put resources into this program?
I think by and large everybody's okay right now, if that's the way you want to describe it. There's frustration because you see how close they are, right? They're so close to having some really big wins this year. They had the lead on Texas. They had a lead on Tennessee. They could be in a situation where they're looking at a really good bowl game instead of fighting to be bowl eligible. At the same time, there's frustration because Lebby, it feels like there's still like a learning on the job kind of element with him. And he'd never been a head coach before. but he makes some decisions where you just wish he had a veteran voice maybe in his ear to say, hey, maybe we should kick the field goal here. Go back to last Saturday. I don't think that kicking a field goal to make it a 17-10 changes the outcome of that game, but give yourself a little positive momentum. Instead, he goes forward and it doesn't get it. And there's been a lot of that this year. So I think by and large, Mississippi State fans, they see this team won 2 games a year ago. They've won 5. They have a good shot to win 6 and go to a bowl game. That's real improvement. If you make a similar jump from this year to next year, the way you did from last year to this year, you're going to be at 8, 9, and maybe even a team that's on the periphery of the college football playoff. So I think people are still on board with Jeff Lebby, but man, he could buy himself a lot of capital with a win in these last 2 games.
Yeah, it'd be enormous to get one of these last 2. When you look at where they have kind of grown and some of the challenges still lie ahead along the offensive line, for example, clearly he's got a good feel for quarterbacks. I think that both quarterbacks that he's played this year have looked pretty good. He clearly has got a great feel for that position. He's done a good job of attracting wide receivers. What do you think is the next step for this program when it comes to attracting talent?
Well, you mentioned it's the offensive line, and that's where State struggled this year. You go back to the first game, your starting tackles were Albert Reese and Blake Steen. Steen gets hurt in the first half. He hasn't played all year. He wasn't great in that first half against Southern Mississippi, but this is a guy who played a ton of college football. You have to think he would have settled in and gotten better. Albert Reese has missed the last couple of games. He's battled injuries all year. And so State's on its second string left and right tackles, and they're just kind of piecing it together as best they can. So when I think about what State has to do in the portal, when we get to the end of the season, they got to be stronger on the offensive line. You see what they did at the receiver position this year, bringing in Anthony Evans and Brennan Thompson. Last year it was Kevin Coleman and Mario Craver. This offense is going to attract great receivers. I think it's going to attract good running backs. A guy like Bothwell, he'll be back next season with Mississippi State. You have Kamario Taylor, who you want to build around for the future. They just got to get better up front. And then on the other side of the ball, it's sort of the same thing. They need a guy who can change things as far as the pass rush goes. They don't have a guy they can just rely on to get after the quarterback. Will Whitson hasn't played since week 2. He still leads this team in sacks with 1.5. They've improved their pass rush, but they don't have that one guy that teams have to circle and kind of work on. So that the offensive line and improving their pass rush, that's where State has to get better in the portal when we get there.
I feel like rep count may be becoming a little bit of an issue on defense. Still playing hard, just it felt like they gassed out late in that game against Georgia. It was also a bad matchup. Like just physically, it's not the matchup that's really for them in their wheelhouse right now that they're going to be able to go body for body, blow for blow with. But when you look ahead at the defense, specifically this weekend, kind of where's the health, where's the snap count, where are the concerns, and maybe where should folks feel good about them doing what A&M did last weekend and to an extent slowing down that offense?
Well, Isaac Smith had to leave the field against Georgia. I would expect to see him on the injury report tonight. I'm sorry, the availability report. I don't want Coach Kiffin to get mad at me. It's the availability report. I expect him to be on it. They're relatively healthy overall. Whitson's been out since week 2, but by and large, they've been okay there. And I feel like from a depth perspective, they're obviously a lot better than they were last year. But you're right. The grind of the season definitely, is at that point. I think that this upcoming matchup with Missouri, they're really good running the football, and they were good running the football last week, even though they're on their third string quarterback. State's just got to do what they have to do to try to slow down that running game and put the game into Zoller's hands and tell him, hey, if you can beat us, great. If you can't, we're going to win. I feel like if State could get 24, maybe 28 points on the board, they'd have a great chance to win this game. This is not a game that a few weeks ago I thought State would have much of a chance with the way Missouri was playing, but with the injury situation, it's given MSU an opportunity that if they can take advantage of it and give themselves a little momentum going into that season finale with Ole Miss. It could put themselves in a situation similar to Dan Mullen's first year, where they ended the season with some momentum and they built on that for the next couple of years. Jeff Lebby is trying to get to that point.
Well, when you think about it, is he that far away? Help me out. I feel like the progress that's been made, it's just compared to where they were last year, you can actually maybe get there sooner than maybe you thought.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. It's all going to depend on what happens in the portal this upcoming off season. You've got some good pieces coming back for next year. I mentioned Camario Taylor. You bring back Anthony Evans. You bring back Fluff Bothwell. Bring back a couple of your offensive linemen. You just got to go out and, like I said, strengthen on the lines of scrimmage. You're probably going to have to replace Kelly Jones, who's been a really good player for Mississippi State this year, one of the best corners in the SEC. There's a lot of smoke around him being a high draft choice now, so I don't know if he returns to Mississippi State or not. But they're not that far away. I mean, the results against Tennessee and Texas kind of show us that. It's just about getting those small pieces and getting better up front. And if you can do that, and it's also about Jeff Lebby's continuing to grow as a head coach. I thought one of the underrated things he did this offseason was put a couple of veterans on the defensive side of the ball, and Paul Rhodes and Mike McIntyre, just to give Coleman Hutzler, a little extra, eyes on the field and a voice in the headset. I wouldn't be totally surprised if he did that for himself on offense and found a more veteran voice just to be on the headset with him. I don't think he'll ever give up play calling, and I think his play calling is really good. You watch State offensively. I mean, they've got guys open. There's plenty of opportunities there. They just need to execute a little bit better. But as Lebby continues to grow as a coach, as State continues to be successful in the portal, I think that this team is not too far away. It's just about getting over that hump, and they could do it. They could take a big step forward in these next 2 weeks just by getting to bowl eligibility.
All right, so Brian Haydad joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline talking Mississippi State. The coaching staff's not going to project forward to the Ole Miss game like you just alluded to. You can. I know you've taken a peek at it. I know you and Richard have had discussions about it. How do you sort of view that matchup right now? And where might State be able to have a couple advantages?
Well, the one thing that stands out to me the most is last year, that was one of the worst State teams of the past 20 years. That's the best Ole Miss team since the 50s. And State was on the 1 yard line in the fourth quarter trying to make it a 5-point game. The last couple of years, it's been, Kiffin's just going to blow this State team out and really make an embarrassment out of them. They lost by 10 and 12 the last 2 years. And this Mississippi State team is better than it was a season ago. It's going to be in Starkville. Ole Miss is probably going to have the pressure of they're going to have to win the game to be 100% sure that they're in the playoff. I think a 10-2 Ole Miss team with a loss to State, they're probably in, but there might be a discussion at that point. So all the pressure is going to be on them. I think State can win that game. I wouldn't pick State to win that game. They certainly won't be favored to win that game. But if you've been that close to Tennessee and that close to beating Texas, you can be in the game with Ole Miss in the fourth quarter and have a chance to win. And hopefully, your home crowd. And maybe this is the time where you're finally, the law of averages plays in your favor and you're due for a win and you finally get it. So State can win the Egg Bowl. I wouldn't pick them to win it as we sit here today, though.
Brian, as you look at just kind of the landscape, I mean, Lebby's name comes up amongst people that are in the coaching search profession. I think he's done a great job. I think it's a great thing. I mean, the guy is clearly well thought of. How confident are you that State can hang on to him for a long time, given some of the job openings that could come up?
Yeah, I think, with this cycle that we're about to be in, I'm not too terribly worried about it because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be hard for a school to sell themselves on a coach. I mean, he's 7-15 right this second. That's a tough sell to your fans. Like, oh, yeah, this is the coach of the future here for us. So right now, I'm not too terribly worried about it. In the future, I mean, that's just something that fans at schools like Mississippi State, Ole Miss is seeing that with Lane Kiffin every year. Schools like Arkansas, South Carolina, when they have a hot coach, the big name brands are going to be there looking at them. So I think Mississippi State, they kept Dan Mullen for 9 years. And if Jeff Lebby gives Mississippi State 9 successful, or I guess it would be 8 successful seasons after this, I don't think anybody's going to be really mad in 2034 if he decides it's time to go to Texas or Oklahoma if that opportunity were to provide itself for him. State's going to be perfectly competitive as far as salary. They're going to have to be perfectly competitive when talking about what kind of NIL resources you're going to have at your disposal. So I don't worry long-term about that. I also know that Jeff Lebby and Zach Selman have a great relationship. Those guys are really close. So as long as Selman's here, I feel like Lebby will be okay here. Of course, Selman is going to be a candidate for this Oklahoma job when we get to that point. So that could make a difference there as well. But I don't worry about that kind of thing. I always say, if you're being used as a stepping stone, nobody's ever stepping stoned anybody by going 2-10, 2-10, 2-10. You had to have been successful. So just build off of the previous guy's success, hire the next coach, and you'll be okay.
All right, so you don't cover Ole Miss on a daily basis, but you are involved with Ole Miss on a daily basis, be it the radio show that you do. Where do you think Lane Kiffin ends up? Where do you think ultimately is his final destination in this cycle?
I've really convinced myself that he's not going to take another college job. So I think that if he's going to leave, and if he doesn't leave this year, it's going to be really difficult to see him leaving. I think the NFL is where you have to look. You know, the Giants are interesting. Could you reunite him with Jackson Dart? If the Dolphins job comes open, my goodness, I mean, he's at the place down in Boca Raton, so I mean that would be a great spot for him. I think the NFL is his next move, so that's where I'm looking more than anything else. I don't think he's going to go to LSU. I thought that he might go there, and then the governor of the state opened his mouth, and then everything else happened, and so I've stopped thinking that. Florida, maybe, but I just don't know what Florida's going to give him at this point that Ole Miss can't give him. So I think the NFL is his next stop if he decides to make a next stop at all.
All right, so there's Brian Haydad talking Mississippi State and a little bit of Ole Miss. We appreciate the time today, man. Thanks a lot. We'll do it again soon.
Anytime, guys. Good talk to you.
All right, Brian Haydad joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. We haven't updated you on the coaching searches that are currently active. There are some new odds out. We'll go to those odds and ask this question. Of the current betting favorites, which one of those ends up being correct? Don't get caught in the cold. Schedule your system checkup now from a Train Comfort Specialist. Train has been recognized 11 consecutive years as America's most trusted HVAC brand and our exclusive home comfort partners here at Jocks. Visit Train.com to find a comfort specialist near you. Betting favorites for college coaching searches. Which one of these ends up being right? We'll run through them after this on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. If we took current Bet Online odds for coaches to be hired next by jobs that have vacancies, how many would be correct? So if we ran through these and we looked at them, the coach currently favored, how many would be right? First, Greg, tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Well, Bromberg's is the best. Been going there forever. Have always appreciated the experience you get the second you walk in the door, and now is a great time to head over there. I mean, here's a holiday tip. Make it easy for Santa to get exactly what you want. Create a Bromberg's wish list this Christmas. Their expert associates will help you pick out your favorite jewelry, watches, and giftware so your loved ones can choose the perfect surprise. You'll unwrap something you truly love, and it'll come wrapped in Bromberg's signature silver box. So start your wish list today at Bromberg's in Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit.
All right, so let's go through this. You guys just simply give me a yes or a no that this will be the next head coach at said institution. We'll go through all the openings right now.
Okay.
These are the current odds favorites per Dave Mason at Bet Online. We'll start with LSU at 2-1. Your current betting favorite to be their next head football coach is Nick Saban.
Absolutely not.
John? I think it's highly unlikely, but
you're not going to completely rule it out, Greg?
No.
Okay. He's leaving that door open. Thought you would have learned your lesson last time with
exactly.
that. But, no.
Yes.
Yes to...
Yes, it ain't happening.
Yes, it ain't happening. That's perfect. Well said. Seems far-fetched to me.
All right. I'm not going to...
Honestly, if you look at LSU's, all their odds, like if you go beyond it, all the top odds to me feel a little bit far-fetched. You know what I mean? Like, to me...
It has the feeling that the LSU coaching search could get really weird really fast,
right?
And to a point where fans will not be happy with it in an absolute instant. But we'll see.
What's funny is, like, Nick Saban, to me, I'd have him more at, like, 100 to 1. You know what I mean? Not so much 2 to 1.
I think you can get those odds on Eli Manning to be the next Giants coach, actually. So
there you go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's okay to have him on the list. I just feel like it's a bit of a long shot. Maybe I'm crazy, but
better chance
look
next
at the
year.
rest of these.
Nick Saban coaching LSU or the Giants, and not San Francisco. They already have a manager.
Bench coach for the Giants, San Fran.
All right, so we pretty much rule out Nick Saban LSU. We say that's probably not happening. So that's going to be one wrong for the betting odds. Florida, current favorite in the clubhouse at -300, Lane Kiffin.
No.
I think he's the most likely for sure.
Of all of these, so you would say right now that they're going to be correct on that?
That's my guess, yes.
Okay. John?
I felt it originally, but now I think he's staying.
I don't think he goes either. To Florida. But he is the favorite at -300. Penn State, current betting favorite at -250. Brian Hartline. Greg? Will the odds be right or wrong?
I say wrong.
I say wrong.
I say no.
Ultimately, I do think it's yes.
Okay.
But I don't think he's their first choice.
Are we in a weird spot with some of these not having a great feel on who's going to be next?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Just probably
I
why Vegas
usually
is
feel like,
loving it.
especially how long some of these have been open,
Mm-hmm.
we usually feel like, yeah, but it's going to be him. It's going to end up being that guy. Most of these, I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
I mean, I don't know. Arkansas, current favorite, Greg, in the clubhouse at 2-1, Ryan Silverfield.
Yes.
I think there are two other names that are very possible in this mix, but right now I do believe that feels like the favorite, so I would agree they get this one right.
I agree.
If you can beat him, join him. Yeah.
Wow. Oklahoma State, betting favorite currently at 2-1, Eric Morris.
No.
I'm going to say no.
This is also one that I have no idea on the depth of it, where the reality of the search is. My question here would be, why would Eric Morris do that to himself?
That's why I'm thinking no.
So I think he's going to be on a lot of lists. He's on a list this year, and he'll be on more in the next few years if he keeps doing what he's doing. But why would you go? Why would you take that one? So because of that, I'm going to say no.
I say no.
Okay.
No.
Damien says no. John, you're a yes or a no on Oak State?
Definitely.
I think
same like you,
just
just probably not.
Just so everybody knows, that's a more attractive job than you realize within coaching circles.
Oak State?
Yes.
I can see why, but I also just see it very difficult to go win a lot. But that's
I think if you look at the rest of the league, you look at their resources and support, oil and gas money is there. They have it.
what about crypto money?
No.
Not there.
No,
Okay.
Well, they would put it this way.
We'll
If
get
it
to
was
that one
crypto
next.
money, they would have had an endless amount of funds a few years back. But
No, not so much.
Pre-NIL, though.
not as much. It's not alt season right now.
Got it.
I think, but Oklahoma State, in all seriousness, like I know people will smirk at it, in coaching circles, the stability that they just showed with their previous head coach, the fact that the previous head coach completely and deliberately went away from NIL, it's viewed very favorably within that world. I don't necessarily see it that way, by the way. Like, Cole, do you view Oklahoma State as like a legit destination?
God, I used to, and I just don't know.
I know,
now.
I'm with you.
I don't
I'm the
know
same
now.
way.
Like
I'm the same way.
When jobs get
But tell
that
me
bi-
right now, without a shadow of a doubt, a better job in the Big 12. Texas Tech, right?
Yeah.
With their resources.
Yeah.
Tell me a better one, though, without question.
I would say BYU.
BYU, I think, would be second.
I mean, do we not think Houston's a better job?
No. I think Houston, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, TCU are all comparable. I actually think that Houston would be 4 out of 4 amongst that group.
Is Utah a better job?
I say
Eh,
yes. I say yes.
I think culturally, yes, it's been good. I don't know if their access to resources is the same as Oklahoma State.
So if you had to compare Oklahoma State to like an SEC program, who would it be?
There is no comparison because you're not playing in a league like the SEC. I think
Is
it's a
it
top
just the
5 job in the
resources
Big
that you
12.
put there? Like what they're going to be able to bring in?
No, I just think facilities, I think fan support, they have hundreds of boxes. Like they have a stadium that is state of the art. They did a smart job of making sure boxes and premium seating was a priority. Every one of those boxes is sold out. Every one of those boxes is well attended. They still sell out the stadium, even though the product has left something to be desired the last few years. Like I think it's a very attractive job. Like I said, like with you, I didn't view it that way. But in coaching circles, it's very attractive.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
They're going to get a good coach. I'm just telling you, they're going to get a good coach. And people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he took that one. I can't believe he left there for there.
Okay.
And you're going to be surprised.
The she's all that of coaching. Got it.
Yes. Back to
Just remove the glasses, ponytail, and overalls, and you're good.
Who knew?
back to crypto jobs. UCLA, the current betting favorite at 2-1 is Jed Fish.
God no.
No.
That's a step down. Like, oh my
I
god.
don't know. I mean, I understand
Ooh.
the city and everything, and but I
No.
don't know why he would do that.
Nah.
Can't be. Couldn't be. Won't be.
Taxes alone. Ugh.
And finally, the current betting favorite for the Auburn job is John Summerall at -150.
If Auburn's lucky, then yes.
I say yes.
Okay, John.
The only concern to me with Auburn is LSU.
I'm going to say no because it's Auburn. And as much as I want good things for them, we know they can't always have nice things. It just feels totally Auburn for them to screw it up somehow.
How would they screw this up?
I don't know, but it's Auburn.
Oh, but just give me your thoughts on where you think it could go. Is it thinking somebody else is better?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I think most.
Assuming that
I don't- I
Summerall will
don't-
crawl
I'll-
there.
This is what I want to do here. We'll do this on the other side. I want to take all your concerns of why you think that maybe this wouldn't happen or that the right hire or a good hire doesn't happen. And then I'll see if I can sort of either put those to rest or put an explanation point by them and say, yeah, you're probably right. All right, we'll do that next here on Jocks. 9:33. Have a partial all-timer in the bad box score of the day coming up later today. You'll hear that in the final segment of the show. Wanted to talk the Auburn job. And as John brought up a moment ago, maybe some things that could go wrong, why it potentially could go wrong. So you three think about the reasons that you think this could go wrong for whatever reason. I am going to play judge, jury, executioner as to why that is real, maybe not real, won't happen in this job search. What is your biggest concern right now for the Auburn job search, G-Mac? Like what do you look at the top of the list as could go wrong?
The desired candidate gets a better opportunity. That's my biggest fear.
But that that's not going to be that wouldn't be anybody's fault, other than just not getting it done with an opportunity to.
If they want Summerall and all of a sudden LSU swings and misses on a couple of their top guys, then they could go and get Summerall, and maybe he considers taking LSU over Auburn. I don't know if he will or not. I don't know. I know he has great affinity for Auburn, and I know he loves it there. But I also think that most people would say LSU is a better gig and with more stability. Even though it doesn't have a lot of stability. But that would be my fear.
Okay, so that's number one. I would say feasible. I would say if you don't get off the pot, if you don't step on the gas, if you don't get to it, that's absolutely – there's some reality to that potential, 100%. I would agree that is something that could take place. John, you brought this up.
Is John Cohen making the hire?
He says he's the committee.
I believe that he is in charge of the majority of it, yes. Here's the thing. It's all context in how you hear that. Do you hear that and think that no one else even offers a solution or gives an opinion? If you think that, then no, yeah, you're wrong. That's not real. I don't think that someone is walking in the room with a list of 2 or 3 coaches and putting it down on the table and saying, one of those, buddy. I don't think that's it. I think there will be a little bit of mutual agreement, but I think that it's in his hands to go find out who the best candidates are and then vet who they can actually get. So therefore, yeah, he would be the ones bringing those to the table, and I think that part of it would be real. Damian?
It kind of goes to the first 2 guys. What if John Summerall takes another job, and what if DJ Durkin gets another head coaching opportunity because he's passed at Auburn?
Well, then Durkin would be gone. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities that DJ Durkin is at Auburn next year and not the head coach. Because I think any coach that comes in would see what he did. Mm-hmm. And if you had any sort of relationship with him, you would at least put that on the table to say, hey, you're entrenched here. You know a lot of the roster, even though majority of it might not be here. You obviously know the landscape, the geography. You have friends and family here. Like, we would love to have you as the DC. I think there are multiple candidates that are on the list for Auburn that would at least want to try to make that happen. So
for sure,
I think there are 2 ways around that still being possible. But yeah, if he got a head coaching job offer that he wanted and knew Auburn wasn't going to offer him, then yeah, I think he's probably out. He's gone. He would take that. So that would be a feasible possibility. What else do you look at in this search, Greg, and say that's something that potentially could take place where it wouldn't go Auburn's way?
Well, I mean, necessarily go Auburn's way. I don't know.
Well, you would look at this coaching search as maybe not overly successful when it's done.
Yeah, but I don't think you can go wrong here. I know that sounds crazy. I don't think you're going to end up with another scenario that you get a guy that is incapable of leading the program. And look, throwing a name out there, throw Jimbo Fisher out there, for example.
Please don't.
Is it going to create some awe-inspiring moment amongst the Auburn fan base? No, but the guy's won a national championship. Like I still think he's a good coach. I'm not saying that Auburn fans are all going to be doing cartwheels in the event in which he gets it, but that's not a bad hire.
But there's a time and place for everything, Greg, and this is not the time and place for that. It isn't.
I don't disagree.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he can't call plays. But in today's college football, that's not a good hire for Auburn. It just isn't. I don't know. Listen, I played for Jimbo. He's my offensive coordinator, even though whatever, didn't have the title then. He called our damn plays where people can say whatever they can write whatever article they want. I was in the huddle when he called the plays. So y'all can call him whatever you want. I don't care. He was our offensive coordinator. Terry Bowden did not call our plays. Some people are going to take that to their grave, and they literally weren't there. And I don't understand that part. So nonetheless, but this is not it. This is not the time and the place. I don't think it would be a good hire. And that's not personal against Jimbo. There are a lot of guys that we think are good coaches, and we hear about them going a certain place. We're like, no, not this is not it. That's not the one. Right now, with the other things on the table, no, it's not. This is not the one. So let's go down the list here.
So how many people? Let me just go through a list right now. Summerall, good hire, yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Right.
It's
DJ Durkin,
it's a great
good hire,
hire.
yes or no?
Summerall's a great hire. DJ Durkin's a good hire. Let me flip this. Let me flip this question around quickly. Okay, and once again, see, we have to remove emotions from this, and this is where a lot of ads get it wrong. This is where a lot of fans get it wrong. Remove your emotions here. If the four of us are on the committee now, John Cohen says I can't do this. He puts the four of us on the committee, and he says, "This is the bag that you have. These are the stipulations on the contract you can offer. Go. This is what you have to work with. Start from scratch." Where is DJ Durkin on your list?
Top 3, probably top 4.
If you can attempt to go get any coach you want,
no, wouldn't be top 3 or top 4. But
see,
under
that's
the circumstances.
Exactly. That's circumstantial.
Right.
I'm saying if the Auburn job's open and they say it's your game, go get whoever you want. Like, y'all can't tell me DJ Durkin's a top 5 candidate. He isn't. So emotions are involved with what's happening right now, and so therefore people are saying, "Oh, is he a top 2, top 3?" But in the real world, in the normal world, that is not it. It isn't. And I understand all the interims are considered. Bill Oliver was considered for ours the next time. He was.
Yeah.
Hell, Ed Orgeron got it. I think more than once.
Dabo.
At different places.
Yeah.
Just
Dabo,
once,
it worked.
but he almost got it a second time.
So I do think it's interesting to at least look at that way. I love DJ. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. And I'm going to say this. I'm not 100% certain he wants to be a college head coach again. I don't know that. I think sitting over there coordinating the defense, doing a third of the work that the head coach does, making $2 million a year.
Kind of got it made.
It's good living.
Yeah, right. It ain't bad.
I'd be okay with that. All right, so let's go. Let's
All
say
right, well, let's
Durkin
keep
off the
going.
table.
Going
Who's
down the
next?
odds. I'm just going down the odds list. Yes or no? James Franklin.
Absolutely not.
No.
I don't even think it's on the
Okay.
table.
All right, I'm just going down the odds list. Relax.
I'm just giving you responses to the
You
odds
just said it
list.
was emotional, Greg. I mean, what do we expect?
All right, Jeff Brom.
Jeff Brom would be a home run for almost anybody.
Uh-huh.
And he's not winning a
Same.
press conference, and he's not building ad campaigns around him, and he's not handing out ice cream at the basketball games.
Coaching
but
ball.
he would be a great football coach for about anybody.
But do you think that Auburn needs a coach that's going to be a key figure in the community?
We tried that last time. And number one, wasn't key figure in community, and number two, didn't win games. So I think we can push that to the side.
All right, Kenny Dillingham.
Yes.
He'd be great. He's not leaving. I don't even think it's a realistic, feasible option. So I'm just going to say just pass, move on.
I don't know if I'd say that. I think the right situation came up and the right bag came in front of him. I think he'd listen. Eli Drinkwitz.
Yes.
I think Eli would be great, but I think people with this job, the Florida job, some other jobs, I think it's time for people to go back and do their due diligence again and look at Eli Drinkwitz's contract.
Because it's a lot of money.
A lot.
Brent
A
Key.
lot. One in which people are not easily, quote, just going to be more than. He's over 9 a year.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of regular college football fans walking around are saying, oh, yeah, Eli, he's making like almost 10, right?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
People ain't thinking that.
Yeah.
He is. So, therefore, with where we are right now and what a lot of these ADs are ready to push out, I don't think there's a ton of schools, even some of the ones that are available, that are going to go in there and just be like, look at that. Beat that. It's not.
Take it or leave
You're
it,
going to
Eli.
I'm telling you, some of these that are open right now, these ADs are going to be selling situation, history, access to recruits. Like, some of it's kind of come full circle here. It's not just going to be, here's X amount more than you're making now. We know you want to come on down. The price ain't going to be right for a lot of these teams. It just isn't.
No.
Okay, next.
You're splitting hairs. Brent Key.
I think Brent Key would be at any school in this footprint.
Yes.
I think he would be a very good hire. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Glenn Schumann.
do we think we can get him out of there? I don't know. Do we think he's leaving? Because we've had that conversation before about his place, whatever. Like I personally don't, but
he bleeds gold, baby.
I think, and I say that intentionally because I do not know. I think Glenn Schumann is going to be a good head coach. I mean, he is a coaching kid. He's a coaching lifer.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been around the profession literally his entire life, and around some good ones, by the way. Not just when he's been in college coaching, but as a player and as a 5-year-old, he's been around good coaches. So
fair.
The guy knows how to get it done. He knows how it's done. Does that mean there won't be complications when he is hired to a bigger school? Probably. Everybody's going to get bumps in the road, but
Sure.
I would not look at that and say failure if Auburn hired Glenn Schumann. No.
The rest of these to me are way too far fetched. Gus Malzahn, Dan Mullen, John Gruden, Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban. All these are the rest of the people that
All right,
are
now
on
we're
the
talking.
list,
Let's
by
get
the
on
way.
that one.
Yeah, I like that.
How does that have to
All
happen?
right, let's
How does
keep
Auburn
going.
beat his
Alex-
game day salary?
Alex Golish.
I'd love it.
I do not think it's outside the realm of possibilities.
I'd love it.
And I think he's a really good coach. But like with this is my opinion. This is just me. I have shared this with multiple Auburn fans that I'm friends with, and they have
Both of them?
almost three of them. One being my wife,
Your wife, yourself in the mirror, and
my
one
10-year-old
of your
and my
children.
5-year-old. 8-year-old hadn't really made up his mind yet. But there is and this is not just him. This is a couple of the names that you threw out there. I think there is a retread feel to some of those, to which a lot of Auburn fans
sure.
are going to say, not again. And Alex Golish is not that. I will say that. I don't think he is that. I don't think Eli Drinkowitz is that. But there's going to be a lot of Auburn fans who are like, oh, man, we've tried this. Like, here we go again. Quirky personality, offensive guru, like play calling back and forth. We've done this, guys. Like, we're doing this again. And that doesn't mean they couldn't come in and win. That doesn't mean that Auburn fans aren't going to support them, because they would. But I just think that, like, you would have a giant exhale by a lot of people if one under that profile were hired that just were like, Like, I think a lot of Auburn fans would be like, we've seen this show. We've seen this movie. We've been here. We know the script. We know it. As opposed to bringing in somebody that fits under a different profile and maybe has a different personality and fits a different bill, to where a lot of Auburn fans, I think, would be re-energized that finally we're getting back to that. Or finally this type personality is coming in, like, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Yes. Clark Lee, last one.
I think the most interesting name in any of these coaching searches, because I have no idea where his brain is at on this. There's a lot of these guys, Greg, you and I have been around them. Maybe we know their representation, or maybe we know their thought process on just the profession in its entirety. We've had those conversations. Before 3 weeks ago, no one had ever asked Clark Lee about taking other jobs. Why would they?
Right.
And now all of a sudden, we got to try to figure out where he might be on taking another SEC job or the Penn State. I have no idea. Has he ever sat back and thought about this?
No.
Has Clark Lee ever gone to his representation and say, all right, guys, Ohio State's open. What are we doing here? What are we thinking? Like, when A&M comes open again, should we make a run at that one? Like, I don't even know if we've ever talked. Have those conversations happened before, like, right now? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I love Clark Lee, man. And I think he's proven that he can build. But I will say, small asterisk with a parentheses of Diego Pavia. Most people would stop there. Jerry Kill, a lot of people would stop there. But Tim Beck also needs to be in that conversation. How much does it include those? And there's certain people that will tell you, all these teams that are new to the party, like, well, why don't you say that with other schools? Like, why don't you say that with them? Well, Kurt Sidnetti proved to me that Curtis Rourke could do it last year, and another guy that not many people had heard of could come in and do it this year. So I'm giving him a little benefit of the doubt. I need to see Vandy be this without Diego Pavia.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's going to be somewhere else, I need to know those other two are going to be with him if they're going to do it.
Fair.
A little bit.
But the chip on the shoulder, us against the world mentality, to me, like I see Clark Lea's odds at LSU at 5-1. Like I don't get me wrong, I think LSU is a better job than Auburn. It's no disrespect to Auburn. It's just that's how much I appreciate LSU's job. I don't think Clark Lee fits at LSU. The us against the world, chip on the shoulder mentality, underdog, swing up, punch up. Like the guy he goes after and the culture he cultivates, I don't think it aligns with LSU. LSU has a superiority complex. You know what I mean? Like we're better than you. We're going to prove it. I think that with Clark Lee, that underdog, we're gonna it's us against the world. He says it in press conferences. We're a bunch of misfits. We're going to play the Blue Bloods at Texas. Like we're a bunch of misfits. They're Matthew McConaughey. We're Theo Vaughn. Like literally, that's like part of the storyline. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what he aligns with. And I don't know if at all places that type of mentality is going to be well received. I also don't know with the type of player you attract, you're going to be able to cultivate that type of culture. I don't know. That's why I'm really curious to see if he does leave, it better be at a place where you can recreate what he created at Vandy. And I don't think that can be created everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. There's not an LSU fan on earth that wants to hear about, battling back from the doldrums. Like starting from the bottom, not a real thing. All right.
Yeah, we're exactly.
More on this next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back at McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Before we get to our bad box score of the day, G-Mac, tell our listeners about Polar Bear Services.
Well, I've been using Weston the guys for a long time and have always had a great experience. I think you guys will understand what I'm talking about when you call them and they come out and they service your home. They can help you in a lot of different ways, too. They can help you with your electrical work. They can help you with your plumbing. They also do whole home generator install, so you're not in a bind when the power goes out. but they specialize in the HVAC system. It's going to get cold. We've had some cold weather days already, so you want to make sure your heating system is up to the task with what's coming this winter with a checkup from the experts at Polar Bear Services. Like I said, I've been using them for a long time. I've never had a bad experience. Have always appreciated what Weston and the guys provide. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
Quickly into our bad box score of the day. The Grace College
Eagles.
No.
Angels.
No.
The Gladiators.
They're the Lancers. They just snuck past the Ohio Christian.
Orca.
No,
They're the Wildcats.
Crusaders.
they're not. They're the Trailblazers.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Dig that.
Now, here's the good news for Ohio Christian. You scored 91 points in a women's basketball game.
How many did they
Very
give
solid.
up? How many did they give up?
172.
Oh. Double bad box score.
Let me read that again. Grace College put up 172 points on Ohio Christian.
I mean,
It's not a little.
It's
no.
not. Grace College went 61 of 105 from
Hey.
the floor.
Shoot more, score more.
Not bad.
10 of 38 from three.
See?
40 of 44 from the free throw line.
Got one.
Lord.
That's shooting it right there.
Okay.
That's what Cole claims. That's what he'd shoot from the free throw line.
No, I wouldn't get that many. But I wouldn't go 2 of 13 like Ohio Christian did from three.
Oh, don't you dare.
36 of 85 from the floor. So we had a combined 190 shots fired in this game.
Hey,
That's
I
not even
respect it.
including free throws.
I respect it, though.
Not even including free throws, of which 17 of 22 for Ohio.
Okay.
So 66 free throws shot in this game.
It's a fast-paced game. Like, they were getting
Ball
up and down the
is
floor. I'll
back.
give them that.
Ohio turned it
Up
over
and down.
42 times in the game.
And still scored 91 points.
For Grace College, Maddie Pointner, 8 of 16 from the floor, 1 of 4 from three, 34 points in the game, 17 of 17 from
Hey.
the free throw line.
Automatic.
Not bad.
Automatic.
Automatic.
Becca Gert, 9 of 10 from the floor, 28 points, 0 for 0 from three, 10 of 12 from the free throw line.
Making change.
He's
man. Let's
giving
go.
them points.
Make them pay.
Free
Y'all gonna
Just
foul me?
giving it to them.
I love the effort, though. They're getting after it.
Gotta love the effort.
By the way, 7 players over 20 points.
You got depth. You got depth.
All the
Johnny
way.
Depp.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. All right, we're back tomorrow.